I have always heard that you should stay in your lane when doing YouTube videos. That's probably good advice, but I'm going to swerve out of my lane a little with this video. I'm not a music expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I know artists I like, and one of my favorites ever is Patsy Cline. So here goes my first attempt at a video about a musician I greatly admire. Patsy Cline was born on September 8, 1932 in Winchester, Virginia. She began performing at age 15 at a local radio station. In 1952, Cline began a stint as a member of a country band headed by band leader Bill Peer. The band performed mostly at small venues, principally the Moose Lodge in Brunswick, Maryland. There she met her first husband, who she married in 1953, but ultimately divorced in 1957. Peer submitted some demonstration tapes to Four Star Records in Nashville, and Patsy, along with Peer, signed a recording contract with the label. Her first recording session took place in 1955, and the releases achieved only minimal success. She kept performing locally and ultimately received an invitation to appear on a national TV show, Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts. She appeared on the show in January 1957 and won that night's show performing a song not yet recorded called Walking After Midnight. Her record label was small, but they had a working relationship with Decca Records. Decca rush released Walking After Midnight on February 11th as a single, and it ultimately became Patsy's breakthrough hit, peaking at number 2 on the Billboard Country charts and number 11 on the pop charts, establishing her as one of the first country singers as a crossover artist. Subsequent recordings in the late 1950s yielded little success, but the early 1960s would be a different story. In January 1960, Patsy officially became a member of the Grand Ole Opry, a cherished goal of most country singers. Also, in January of 1960, she fulfilled her obligations to Four Star Records and officially moved to Decca Records and worked exclusively under legendary producer Owen Bradley. Her first release under the Decca label, I Fall to Pieces, was written by newly established Nashville songwriters Hank Cochran and Harlan Howard and released in January of 1961. Cochran and Howard would go on to achieve legendary status in Nashville as songwriters. Although I Fall to Pieces initially generated little attention or success, it eventually became Cline's first #1 song on the country charts and reached number 12 on Billboard's pop charts. In June of 1961, Patsy and her brother Sam were involved in a serious head-on auto accident in Nashville. She received a broken wrist, dislocated hip, and numerous facial injuries, including a serious cut across her forehead, barely missing her eyes. She underwent surgery and was not expected to live, but she survived. According to her second husband, Charlie Dick, when she awoke, she said to him, quote, "Jesus was here, Charlie. Don't worry. He took my hand and told me, 'No, not now. I have other things for you to do.'" End quote. She stayed in the hospital for a month and later had plastic surgery on her face. For the remainder of her life, she would suffer from chronic pain and headaches and would wear heavy makeup and wigs to hide the scarring on her face. The follow-up hit song after I Fall to Pieces was Crazy, written by Willie Nelson. Her husband heard the song before Patsy and brought it to her, suggesting it would be a great song to record. She wasn't nearly as enthusiastic about Crazy as was Charlie and her producer Owen Bradley. Luckily for Patsy, Bradley eventually convinced her to record Crazy. It was released as a single in October 1961 and would peak at number 2 on the Billboard Country charts and number 9 on Billboard Pop charts, becoming her biggest pop hit. She received almost universal critical acclaim for Crazy and almost all her music from that point on in her career. Cline was now making enough money to buy her own house and purchased a ranch house in Goodlettsville, a suburb of Nashville. She developed a close friendship with several female singers in Nashville, to include Dottie West, June Carter Cash, and Jan Howard, but her closest relationship was with Loretta Lynn. That friendship has been chronicled in several books and was featured in Lynn's biographical movie, Coal Miner's Daughter. Patsy Cline's life came to a tragic end at the early age of 30. In March 1963, she performed at a benefit in Kansas City for the family of a disc jockey who died in an automobile accident. She boarded a small Piper Comanche plane for the return trip to Nashville with fellow country music performers Cowboy Copas and Hawkshaw Hawkins, along with pilot Randy Hughes. They made a stop in Missouri and then Dyersburg, Tennessee for fuel. The airfield manager in Dyersburg suggested that due to inclement weather, they spend the night there. The pilot, who wasn't instrument trained, declined, and they took off at 6:07 p.m. The plane crashed at approximately 6:20 p.m. near Camden, Tennessee, some 90 miles from Nashville, killing all 4 passengers. A memorial service was attended by thousands in her hometown of Winchester, Virginia. She is buried at Shenandoah Memorial Park in Winchester. Her marker reads, "Death cannot kill what never dies, love." There is a memorial at the crash site off Mount Carmel Road in Camden. Re-releases of her music has been a commercial success since her death. In 1991, a boxed set entitled The Patsy Cline Collection, chronicling all of her recorded material for Four Star and Decca Records, was released. Rolling Stone listed the box set among their 50 greatest albums of all time. In 2005, the Guinness Book of World Records included greatest hits for being the longest album on any record chart by any female artist. Her life has been portrayed many times on film and television, including a 1985 feature film entitled Sweet Dreams, starring Jessica Lange as Patsy. There have been numerous documentaries about her life. She was the first female solo artist inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. In 1999, she ranked at number 11 among VH1's list of the 100 Greatest Women of Rock and Roll. In 2003, Country Music Television included her on their list of 40 Greatest Women of Country Music. In 2010, Rolling Stone put her at 46 on their list of 100 Greatest Singers of All Time, and in 2017 the magazine would rank her as number 12 on a list of 100 Greatest Country Artists of All Time. The list of accolades just keeps going on and on, but in the interest of keeping this video within a reasonable time frame, I'll stop there. Suffice it to say that Patsy Cline is one of the most decorated and admired singers of all time. Had her life not been cut so short, there is no telling the heights to which her career would have ascended. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up, make a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching.